What's up, everybody? It's a Deck Tech on the Constructive Criticism YouTube channel. I'm Spencer. That's Manny.
How's it going?
What's up?
Not much. Excited about this deck.
You are?
I am, yeah. I think it's very good.
Why are you excited about it?
I'm just excited to talk about it and discuss it with the viewers.
All right. Well, in front of us we have blue-white humans, or white-blue humans, depending on how you want to arrange those. But it's a deck that we discovered in... Well, we didn't discover, but Matt Kling and Michael Hinderarker, our teammates, discovered in playtesting for week one of the format. They told us that they believed that it was the best deck going into week one. And
By far.
They said
it wasn't close.
Yeah, they said it wasn't close, and then the SG happened, and...
Lo and behold, they were right.
It was the best deck going in, and it wasn't close.
Told you so.
Yeah, they didn't say that.
They should.
I mean, Michael's too humble.
Right, and Matt, we would just say bad things to.
Yeah.
So
we're terrible people.
Right.
But let's go over the deck and kind of what's going on. This is a version of the deck that kind of mixes what Matt and Michael were doing with the things that were done at the SEG.
Yes.
So let's just go over the main deck really quick. So we have 1 Archangel Avacyn, 3 Archangel of Tithes, 4 Consul's Lieutenant, 3 Dragon Hunter, 2 Dragonlord Ojutai, 2 Kytheon of Akros, 4 Reflector Mage, 4 Thalia's Lieutenant, 4 Thraben Inspector, 3 Always Watching, 24 lands with 10 of them being blue sources and 2 of them being a Westvale Abbey, 2 Gideon Ally of Zendikar, and 4 Declaration in Stone. So best creature in the deck, probably Archangel of Tithes.
Absolutely. I think it really allows you to flourish in the mid to late game.
Yeah, things with, where they don't get to play the magic that they want to play most of the time, and then in addition to that, that's the main thing.
Right, I mean, paying 1 for each attacking creature that you have means that is what you're doing with your turn.
Yeah, or paying 1 for each blocking creature means that's what you're doing with your turn too.
Yeah, you can't very well just die.
Yeah, especially when there's so much pressure coming in from all over the place with this deck, and things like Always Watching, they make it so that if you're going to attack your opponent, you have to.
Well, and yeah, you definitely have to play around that card as well. Always the possibility of your opponent having +1/+1 in vigilance to all of their creatures could be very devastating to you.
Yeah. But Archangel of Tithes makes them play the game differently, and it's just like the super powerful card that didn't get to see a ton of play because it cost triple white, and now in this format, it gets its time in the sun.
Yeah, it has a home. It has a really great home.
Yeah. The best spell in the deck, it's Declaration in Stone.
Oh, by far. I think it's doing all of the heavy lifting. I think it would be almost impossible for this deck to exist without that card.
Yeah, so the Declaration Stone is 1 white and 1 for a sorcery. Exile target creature and all other creatures with the same name. That player investigates for each non-token exiled this way. Right, so,
it gets, any problematic creatures out of your way and gives you a viable way to deal with token strategies.
Yeah, so it gets the big guys out of your way that they play to block your little guys. And then if you happen to play against a tokens deck, good luck.
Yeah.
So... card is huge. You get to punish them because you're the aggressive deck, so they don't get too much time to draw cards off of those clues.
It usually doesn't matter. I mean, they're so busy getting their face beat in that drawing an extra card almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, and they have to take tempo off to do that by spending that 2 mana.
That's right.
So that card, easily the best spell in the deck. Interesting card choices. Something that we did not discover that was discovered at the SEG was Dragonlord Ojutai and in this deck. And looking back on it and playing against it a few times today.
I mean, now it makes sense, right? Dragonlord Ojutai along with Always Watching is such a powerful synergy that you pointed out to me that I didn't really understand until you said it.
Yeah, so giving the Dragonlord Ojutai just makes it a 6/4, giving it vigilance makes it hexproof forever, and that's just a lot to overcome for anyone.
Yeah, if you put a 6/5 hexproof with vigilance in front of me that also lets them anticipate every turn, I'm going to have a real hard time beating
that. Man, this card's boring me. No, I'm just kidding. But I think that Dragonlord Ojutai does a lot. It gives you card advantage. It lets you go longer in this deck and lets you play a different game than you typically play with your white weenie deck. And this deck just goes so big, and It can do that because of things like Gideon and Declaration Stone, and it's like, oh man, they're going so wide, yet at the same time they're going like huge flyers in the air with things like that, and Archangel Avacyn and Archangel of Tithes.
Yeah, it really seems like they're coming at you from just a wide variety of angles, right? They're trying to go wide and aggressive early on. In the mid game, they could possibly just outplay you with things like Archangel of Tithes and just go over you with Dragonlord Ojutai. There's just it's a great deck.
The next mana card is also very interesting because it does go all the way up to 5 and it plays 24 lands, as we've seen. Whether it's turn 1 as a Dragon Hunter, a Kytheon, or a Thraben Inspector, and then it has a multitude of 2-drops in the that are very powerful. They both do this. They'll also help pumping your team.
Yeah, Thalia's Lieutenant, when you have 2 or 3 humans already in play, is a big play.
Yeah, and then you can draw it up with more humans to even put Thalia's Lieutenant.
Right.
But the curve, it can curve out. You can go 1-drop into, Consul's Lieutenant, into either Always Watching or Reflector Mage, into Archangel of Tithes, into Dragonlord Ojutai, and it's
just a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing for sure.
And I think the beauty in it that I really like is there's multiple ways to curve out, right? You could play a 1-drop turn 1, 2 1-drops on turn 2, and then follow it up with a really devastating Always Watching on turn 3 and get in there for a lot of damage.
Yeah. The sideboard, as you'll notice, all 4 of the Knight of the White Orchids are in there. So this card's very, very powerful. It just so happens to only be powerful
on the draw.
Well, not on the draw. I mean, if you missed a land drop, it's powerful on the play. But that's not a situation you want to be in. It's also very good in the aggro mirror. So for all of those reasons, we decided that we liked them in the mirror, in the sideboarding them in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you're planning on seeing any type of red aggressive decks, Knight of the White Orchid puts a stop to that quickly.
Yeah. That's a great sideboard interaction that you really get to do something productive, change your deck to be more powerful in one situation than you were in the other.
Right.
So, what are your best matchups with this deck?
I think large decks, and probably controlling decks. I think you have a very good matchup. Your deck is very fast, it's very aggressive, and you're putting pressure on them the entire game.
So, did you say large decks?
Yeah.
Mid-range decks.
Right, regular mid-range too. Just mid-range and control.
So I'm not sure, so I think it's mid-range decks too. I'm not sure if that will be true once they figure out how to beat this deck. Right. But right now, things that play the mid-range strategy, the get in your way strategy, I think you have a very good matchup against, because your things get too big for you to actually be in my way, and I have Declaration in Stone.
Right. And I think the reason I said that it is good against control is because you are playing blue and you do have access to counter spells. And I think
you do have things, and we can go over the sideboard right now. We have 1 Archangel of Tithes for the 4th one, 4 Rite of the Night Orchid, 2 Silkwrap, 2 Stasis Snare, 3 Negate, 3 Surge of Righteousness. So first board, I saw as many people playing as many as 4 Negates, or maybe 2 and 2 Dispels, or whatever they were doing to really punish people.
Yeah, you can definitely... because the format is so new right now, it's April 10th right now.
It's the 13th.
Oh, is it?
Today's the 13th.
April 13th, 2016. This deck is brand new. It's exciting. It's shaping up to possibly be one of the best decks in the format, and people haven't really finalized how they're going to beat it. And I think having that blue in your sideboard really opens up a lot of options to you and how you're going to fight back.
And Negate just... modern staple, as you and Casey call it.
Yeah, it's a catch-all for a lot of things that people are trying to do to you when you're playing an aggressive deck.
I think that your worst matchups are going to be the ones where people tune their deck to beat you. This deck was a good week 1 deck, as we called it. And it could be that it falls off. It could be that it stays high. Who knows? But I think that people do have cards to beat you, and they're going to figure out what they want to do that.
Yeah, I think because this deck is in the format, people are going to have to warp their decks around it. Because if you don't plan for it, it's going to steamroll you.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons that the blue version might be better, because of that Negate interaction.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, so that's it from me. I don't really have anything else.
That's it. And for me as well, the deck is very powerful. It synergizes very well. You have so many different lines of play with Westvale Abbey, Archangel Avacyn, Archangel of Tithes. Your lines of play are seemingly infinite. The way you can play this deck.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Michael said about the deck, is once you add those big creatures into the deck, it's not just this white weenie deck anymore.
Right.
It really does open up the deck to new lines of play, and really gives you pivots and things that you can do in the game that you weren't able to do with just a regular white. We need that.
So very, very great.
Everybody try the deck out. Let us know what you think. And everybody have a wonderful day.
Oh, and don't forget to check out our podcast, CCMTG.
And our Patreon at patreon.com/ccmtg. And that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see y'all later.
See ya.